This is Justin Amazon for Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. Taking a look at the 5 minute here on Amazon. So we had a bullish retest gap, gapped up from a bullish day on Monday into a high wave candle, and then just rode up the 21 on the 5 minute. Stayed above it a little bit here. We're running into some resistance with this line, and then ultimately poked through and continued to rally. Made kind of a triple top here. Some higher lows and relative highs, and then just rolled over all the way into the close for the last almost hour and a half of the day. Gave some good opportunities to be buying here on puts late in the day. This is a 30-50 put. Had some really, really small candles here. Really, you could have just been buying this right near the high, um, anticipating that, oh, we've got 3 bullish days in a row. Here's some resistance. We're right back into like the 3170s, actually 3180s, and good place to roll over. And sure enough, it did. Broke down through this line. Another little retest here, which was another place that it pulled back into the highs of kind of the midday stretch through here. So pulled into, like, here's a high of 530 and the low over here was 520. So retested really into that same price on the 5 and worked also on the put, and then just continued on up. So just a really good day where you had some levels line up really well. On the calls early on in the day, so this is the 3200 call, we were putting in kind of some higher lows all the way into this candle here, really small kind of hammer type candle on the option. Didn't quite get into the 21 exponential moving average here, but still would have been a great place to be buying. The low here was 8, so I don't know if you would have been filled right at the $8 price. But if you miss it, and I mean, it was easy to miss this because it didn't come into the 21 and then pushed right on through in the very next candle through this line. And at this point, it's like, okay, it's running without me. It's already up from around 8 all the way up to above 12. It's like, yeah, you missed the move. That would have been a really nice gain to just be in and out of that in a few minutes. But if you go out to like the 3250 call, then you had some more opportunities to get in, even on its way up. So still you had a pretty large move on this single candle. So the range on this was more than $1, so it's more than the risk. But any of these wicks back down, or even setting up a trade to say, okay, if it's going to move, it should retest, and just being patient for that. It retested back here, and it came right back into the high of this candle. Now it was putting in a level around 4, which still getting into this 4x3 later in the day. You missed the move here, getting in 4x3, so buying with a limit of 4 and a stop down at 3. That's still smaller than this candle, but waiting for that to play out here, come back down, it still would have worked. So buying at 4, getting out at 3-hour target of 7, that still would have worked. Didn't work over here, and then over here was already reversing, and so that would have been a losing trade to get into later in the day. But still, if you had set it up here, it didn't. Getting in here, getting out at 7, getting it set up and not getting in here, a little bit of a chance to kind of scalp that out. It's already below this line again. And then it pulled back further. Maybe you lost an R trying the same trade again here, but you had gained 3R here. That's still, net 2Rs on the day. And if you had somehow gotten into, a move here, even if you had gotten in later, like buying at 5 and a stop at 4 and getting out at 8, I mean, that's still another 3R move. That was really, really a good move. It just kept on running. So a number of these options, I didn't even look at the 3300. I figured that's a little too far away, but let's see. Okay, smaller candles, could have just been scalping this. So get in at 2, get out at 3, just scalp for a quick R, and it just kept on moving up. You got to have those really strong directional moves, and we know what they look like. They really just stay above the 21, and as soon as it starts to go sideways, it's like, okay, just get out, because it can easily come back down very quickly. It did here, but it also gave you another chance to get in, this same kind of level, like buy at 150, get out at 250. Again, it's just scalping. So there's better options to get into where you can have a little bit more of a move. So, that's the 3250 that we're just looking at, or the 3200. But if you go any closer than this, you're going to get some much larger candles. So if you go to like the 31.50. The candles are huge. It's really expensive, much larger premium just to be trading this option. And it's harder to have your $100 risk. Nearly impossible to have a $100 risk on some of these. Granted, some of these candles are smaller. Like here's one that's about $1, but if you were trying to buy this, you're stopped out probably with slippage. So this wouldn't have worked. So I think the 3,200, that was the same. I think it was the same one we were looking at. Let's see, is this the same candle we were looking at yesterday? Yeah, I think it was this one. I think it was the 3,200. And then, how it looks today, just, kind of continuing, looking like it's bouncing here. So it gapped up, obviously, but only moved up a little bit from where it had closed on Monday. Pretty sideways. This $8 price was kind of the mid range here between, kind of 6 up to 10, 11. So, pull back into 8 even was, it actually came into 8 even. That was a really good place for it to pull back and kind of bounce. Would have been just a little bit better if it had gotten into the 21 right here. Would have been a little easier to buy that. And then running into this possible resistance. I mean, I had drawn in thinking, oh, we should pull back and we should, maybe look like we did, sometime last week. It didn't. It just had some more momentum, continued on up. And here we are retesting this level, which is a little bit higher than where we were on yesterday's rally. So, but we did come back down a ways. So there's still some selling coming in. This now on the daily looks like kind of an inverted hammer. You have the same selling here and here. You pushed up a little bit further, got back above this candle's high, right? So this was 31.78.26, and then today's high was 31.82. And so we've got 3 bullish days in a row. Last time we did that, we were going the other direction. We were going down with those 3 bullish candles and then got a gap up. So here we are with, today's gap up. The other time we were 3 bullish candles in a row, we put a 4th one in here, and then ultimately sold off from there. So it's possible we could continue going up and close this gap, but we're still right in this kind of zone. Here on the daily that I've got the line in here at 31.42. So we closed back within this range, and it's just a matter of waiting to see kind of which way we're going to go. If we're going to get back above this, get a close above this. It's actually nice to have a close a little bit above the 21. That is actually having the 21 kind of curve back up. And if we can stay above it a little bit, then I think that bodes well for things to continue up some more. When we've done that before, we've had some bigger candles, gotten a bigger move, but we've just been going down for so long, and we've pulled the 21 back down quite a bit. So it's been going sideways for a week and a half or so. We'll see if we can get this, if we can stay positive, stay up a little bit more, and get this to curve back up and still consolidate in here along with the squeeze. Then I think we have the chance to continue on up a little bit further, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.